Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is the weekly landscape videos that I started last week. So this is number 2, where I'm going to be updating my landscape progress on this new house that I had moved into a few months back, all spring and summer long, and hopefully you'll see the evolution of this landscape project over that time. This past week it really rained quite a bit, so there wasn't a whole lot of moving forward going on in this yard. I mean, it really rained a lot. Yesterday was my 50th birthday. It didn't rain yesterday, but I had this big epic thing I had been planning for a long time about doing. I was going to do 50 miles of exercise on my 50th birthday, and I did accomplish that. I feel like I did 50 miles of exercise yesterday right now, and but I did accomplish that, and I did it through several different things. I went to the gym early in the morning, and then walked Holly, and then she's right here. She looked at me when I said that. Then I went on a very long bike ride, 36 miles or something like that, then went on a hike, and then another. Holly finished off the 50 miles. It actually ended up being 51 miles. One for good luck, I guess, but I did that yesterday, and I had been planning that for a long time, and so check, I got that off the list, and now back to the gardening. One thing that I did do here in the yard this week was I cut the hellebores back. When the new growth starts on your hellebores in the center of them, it's best to take last year's old foliage away from it. That's just energy that's being used. It's not going to go into flowering at all. So I have a video on my channel from last year, maybe the last 2 years. I've done a hellebore video. I won't do one this year, but if you want to go back and look those up on how to maintain your hellebores. But it is time to do that. The other perennials in this yard, I'm actually not cutting back. When I do the February, what to do in February garden video, I'll show the cutting back of the perennials. I usually wait until February here to cut back most of those things. There's not a lot of examples in this yard. There wasn't a lot of things here, but I do wait until February for that kind of thing. The other thing I've had going on this week is I've collected so many plants here over the last few months. I'm laying them out and I'm living with them where they're sitting for a little while. I have more things coming from mail order, and I have 2 nursery tours I'm doing next week, and so I'm going to be picking up some more pieces, and I kind of want to move them around a couple times. It's okay to put something in the ground and then move it later, but I'm trying to get as many pieces as I can kind of where I want them before I start sinking a lot of material in the ground at one time. And I would like to find some unusual pieces. There'll be lots of things that you guys have seen me show many times on this channel, but I'd also like to go out and find some things that you haven't seen, maybe some things I haven't seen, and add them to this collection in this yard over time. And I hope that will make for interesting content as well. But like I say, plants I'm laying out here and just kind of living with them for a week or two, and then they'll get sunk into the ground. The other thing I had going on this week is ultimately I want my vegetable starting rack with all my lighting and everything to go on the screen porch out here, and I'm going to have glass on the screen inside the screen porch so I can heat it as well if I need to. But the screen porch isn't here because I'm doing this construction on the back of the house. So I set the seed rack up inside, and I started my lettuce seed this week. I just went in a couple days ago. So next week, hopefully, maybe you'll see, maybe some of that stuff will come up. One thing I'm doing this next week is microgreens, and I'm going to start growing those here. I did at the old house, and it's time to start them here. So you'll see my microgreen operation inside next week as well. But I did start lettuce. Cool season crops like brassicas, broccoli, cauliflower, that kind of thing can be started now. It's way too early to be starting your summer vegetables. I do see videos for it, and I see all these strange techniques people are coming up with and that kind of thing. It is just, it's too early. If you just find your frost-free date, if you just Google whatever city you live in. So as an example for me, I would just search Raleigh average last frost date. And what that's going to come up with for me, a big limb just fell off a tree right there. What that's going to come up with for me is April 15th. Okay, that's my average last frost date. Peppers take about 5 or 6 weeks to really put on some growth. That's probably the longest thing. So the first thing that I would need to start for my summer vegetables, I just back up 6 weeks from April 15th. So that's March 1st. Okay, not January 1st or January 15th or anything like that. So even for the longest thing for my summer vegetables, I'm not starting them until March. And then tomatoes maybe a week after that, and then faster growing things, even as late as the end of March. But I think it is too early for that stuff. But if you're doing cool season vegetables, Again, that's brassicas and then lettuce. You know, if you were going to do a late crop of collards, that kind of thing, it would be time. It's time to definitely start that seed if you're doing that. And so I got that stuff set up in the house. It's super, super bright in there. Can't wait to get it out on the back porch later on. But that's pretty much the wrap up for this week. Like I say, next week you'll see microgreens and a few other projects various projects that I'll have going on this week. And I've got some pretty interesting tours I think you're going to see over the next week as well. And hopefully I'll be able to acquire some pieces which I can show you in this video next week. Thanks for watching.